Okay, here I am. Mrs. Hoekstra here, Module 4, Lesson 10, Simple Interest, page 78. You'll notice I have two essential questions. What's the formula for simple interest? And what do the variables represent? We will be using these throughout this entire section, all right? And simple interest is actually something that you guys will use throughout your life. I know a lot of times you're sitting in math class going, I'm never going to use this. This is something that gets used all the time. All right, so the formula for interest is equal to the principal, right? It's the amount of money that you're going to put in to the bank account, or the amount of money that you're going to use as a loan. Okay, R is the interest rate. This is some kind of a percent that you will have to change over, and T is time, and time has to be in years. Okay, has to be in years. All right, and so that's what those different things have to deal with. Occasionally they'll talk about an interest rate written in fractions or compounded at different times of the year, and we'll have to convert that over. Now we'll talk about that when we get there. All right, so Larry invests $100 in a savings plan, and it's paying 4.5%. There's my interest rate each year and his $100 balance. The following chart shows the balance on his account after each year for the next 5 years. He did not make any deposits or withdrawals during this time, right? Just opens the bank account, boom, just lets it sit there and do its business, right? So it's year 0, when he drops it in there, there's $100. Okay, and so then we're going to put in, and if you notice, every year the bank sends him $4.50 for leaving it there. And then he puts it back in there, let's say, or the bank puts it in there for him. And then the next year he gets another $4.50. And a year later he gets another $4.50, and so on and so forth. It's quite lovely. So how much money will he earn in interest, right? Not his total balance, because this is the total balance in this chart, in 3 years. In 3 years, he will have had the $100 minus the $113.50, right? We're going to take the absolute value of that. And he has made $13.50 in 3 years, just to let it sit there, okay? 5 years. In 5 years, again, if we take that, he started with $100, and in 5 years, it's worth $122.50. And so he made $22.50 just to let it sit there, right? Maybe your parents, the day you were born, they opened an account and it's just been sitting there for years and years and years, right? Pretty nice. The balance, of course, is the 122, right? It's the $100 plus that $22.50, right? His balance is $122.50. It's the total, right? It's that principal plus the interest, okay? And that's how you get your total, your balance. It's kind of bad, sorry about that. All right, let's go to the top of the page. Find the balance of a savings account at the end of 10 years. There's our time. If the interest is 7.5%. Right? There's our interest, that's our R, and the principal is 500. So I'm just going to write these down. Principal is 500. The rate was 7.5% or 0.075, and the time is 10 years. Now, I try to remember this formula by a little sentence. I party, PRT, right? I party. And kids always laugh when they think of Mrs. Hoekstra partying. I don't know why. I know, that's silly. So 500 times the interest rate, because 500 is our balance, or our principal, excuse me, and our interest rate is 0.075, and then our time is 10. And we just type that in, simple interest, boom, type it all in on our calculator, and we find out that the interest is $875. Well, it doesn't ask for interest, it asks for the balance. Okay, so balance is the principal plus the interest. So in other words, I'm going to take the $875 and add it to the $500 that I had in my principal. So the balance is, oh, Mrs. Hoekstra, Back it up. I apologize, guys. My interest was wrong. Back it up, back it up. Interest, guys, I'm wrong. It was 375. 375. There we go. My principal was 500 plus the 375. There we go. My balance is 875. I apologize. Fix that. Pause it if you have to get that fixed. Okay, I'm going to move on though. All right, number 2, we have a $1,000 savings bond. What is that? That is my principal. And it earns an interest rate, it literally will tell you, rate of 3% each year. The interest is paid at the end of every month. Paid every month. How much interest will you have after 3 months? Oh, I'm going to change my color. 3 months. So that is my time. All right, so let's write this down. Our principal is $1,000, right? That's how much I'm starting with. My rate is 3% or 0.03 because I've got to change it over. And time has to be in years. This is 3 months. So I've got to change that into 3 over 12, right? 3 months out of 12 to make it a year, or it's 1/4 of a year, or 0.25, okay? Whichever form you want to use, but it's got to be changed over to years. So then I'm just going to type this in, and I want to know how much interest, right? How much interest? So I'm just looking for I party. So the interest is equal to 1,000 times the rate, which is 0.03, times the time, which you can use as 1/4 or 0.25, and you just grab your handy dandy calculator and you find out that the interest is equal to $7.50. And you're like, wow, you made $7.50. Yeah, just sat there in the bank for 3 months. It's not so bad. Let's give number 3 a try. Next page. Mrs. Williams wants to know how long it will take an investment of $450. So she's investing it. That's her principal. Right? There's the principal. To earn interest, there's the I. That's $200 when the interest rate is 6.5%, right? We want to know how long. We want to know the time. We don't know that. Look, I've got everything I need, IPRT, I've got all the letters there. Let's figure out what they have. So principal is 450. The rate is 6.5%, which is 0.065. The time is what I don't know, and the interest is 200. Okay, so I party. I'm going to drop these in. 200 is equal to the principal, which was 450, the rate, which is 0.065, and the time, which we don't know, so I'll use the letter T. Okay, so when I do this, I end up with 200 is equal to, and 450 times that 0.065 is 2925. So if I divide everything by 2925, I end up getting 6.8376. Okay, and it says it gets paid at the end of the year. So we'll get paid at the end of year 6, which means at the beginning of year 7. Okay, 7 years. All right, exercise 2. I am going to help you guys get this one started. I think we're going to do this one all together. Normally I say pause, but let's do this one together. So we've got this investment of $600. So there is my principal. It's in there for 1.5 years. There is my time. And it is at a 6% rate. Okay, but if you notice I skipped over, it's a semi-annual interest rate, which means it's going to be calculated every 6 months. Instead of being calculated at the end of the year, it's calculated after 6 months. That's important to catch. So the principal is $600. Our rate is 2%. Our time is 1.5 years, but remember, we're going to be doing this every 6 months. So that means that twice a year, right? Twice a year, it's going to get calculated. So I'm going to take this and multiply by 2. So technically, this is like saying I'm going to get 3 years worth of interest in 1.5 years. Okay, that's what that's telling us. And we're going to figure out to find out the interest, right? We're trying to find interest. So I party. So my interest, I don't know, is equal to 600 times 0.02 times time. Okay, in this case, 3. So I grab my handy dandy calculator, I type it all in, and I find out that the interest is $36. Oop. Oh, did you see that? Hang on a minute. Okay, I think I saved it, you guys. Yeah, it disappeared on me there for a second. Oh, man. So I ended up with interest of $36. All right. I want to kind of change it up. I'm going to do a problem that's not in the book. I know there's a little bit of space here. I want to change it up just a smidge. Let's talk about a principal that is $600. Okay. Let's talk about a rate that is still 2%. I like that. And let's talk about this going in there for 2 years. But let's have it be 2 years, and I want to talk about it being quarterly. Okay, let's suppose I said it's quarterly. So that means every 3 months they're going to compound this. Or quarterly means 4 times a year. So in other words, when you do your 2-year investment, it's the same as if you had invested this for 8 years. Having problems with my monitor here, guys. So it's the same as if it was 8 years. So let's figure this out. Interest is equal to 600 times the rate times the time, but it's not the 2 years, it's going to be the 8 because it's getting compounded or checked in on every 4 months. So then when I go through and I grab my handy dandy calculator, I'm going to find that I'm actually going to make $96. So instead of it taking 8 years of simple interest, I can do that in 2 years because it's going to be handed over. The interest is going to be given to me every 3 months, 4 times a year. All right. Oh. Well, there's all the answers, isn't there? Yeah, we'll just delete that. There we go. So let's try this over again. Okay, so we have a $1,500 loan. There is my principal. With an annual interest rate of 4.25%, 4.25%, also known as 0.0425, right? On the amount that was borrowed, that's the $1,500. How much time? I don't know the time, right? If the interest is now $127.50. So I party. If we plug everything in, this should be a piece of cake. $127.50 is equal to 1,500 times the 0.0425 times time that I don't know. Okay, $127.50 is equal to whatever this is, which I find out is 6375 times time. So if I divide by 6375, I find out that time is 2, right? So 2 years. All right, that is all I have for you guys. I'll see you all in class.